Okay, here. Oh, 40. Oh, come on. There's no way I'm gonna watch a 41-minute video like rebutting what I'm saying. Let me just watch like the first minute of
Hey
it.
guys,
Okay?
in this video I just want to talk about Asmongold's reaction
Okay.
to Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. I've been curious about his opinion on this game because it seems to be in many ways the answer to his MMO woes. I've heard him bellyaching quite a lot about
That's true.
Battle for Azeroth and
Very true.
the death spiral that World of Warcraft is in right now. And I felt that he didn't really give Pantheon a fair shot, a fair assessment. His criticisms didn't seem very sensible to me. So what I would like to do is just respond in this video to his criticisms, not to, try to show him up or prove him wrong. Or I just want him to rethink his opinions and give it a second shot, because I think it may be what he's looking for more so than classic WoW. So let's take a look at the video.
Okay, let's look at Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This is another game that I wanted to say. A lot of people think this game's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing.
Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Did I look at this game? Let's see here. Okay. Pre-alpha game. So this is actually like, I want you guys to look at my screen right now and just take a step back and look at my screen. So we've done this together. I've achieved this. So here's me reacting to this guy, reacting to me, reacting to another video. Man, that's it. Guys, this is impressive, isn't it? I mean, oh my god, I don't even think I can watch this. It's so ridiculous. Okay, let me just look at and see what he's saying at least. Play. Okay, oh, it's the same guy. Okay, let's just look at this.
So he's going to pull up Hive Leader's video about Pantheon.
It was about as EQ as you can get. And no, that's not some...
Yeah, especially in terms of graphics.
Now, we're like 2 or 3 seconds into the video, and he's already dumping on the graphics. I mean, really?
Well, they don't look that good. I mean, listen, like here, I'll watch maybe a little bit more of it, but I'll go ahead and I'll give like my 2 cents on Pantheon. You can compare a pre-alpha World of Warcraft to a pre-alpha Pantheon. Sure, pre-alpha World of Warcraft, this is probably something that I'm sure he might say, or somebody else would say, also didn't look very good. But the difference between Pantheon and World of Warcraft is that Pantheon is not being developed by Blizzard Entertainment, which at that point had multiple best-selling games under their belt and a huge pre-existing universe to create content out of. So whenever I see a game that doesn't show a lot of promise through graphics, then it's not necessarily going to fill me with confidence. I'm not saying graphics matter. I mean, I still play World of Warcraft, but whenever I see something like this, obviously I'm not going to be like, wow, this is great. The graphics don't look good. I mean, I understand it's pre-alpha, but there's a lot. I mean, PUBG, like this is the best example, PUBG. Oh, it's just pre-alpha. By the time it goes into beta, you're not going to get shot through the wall anymore. Oh, it's just beta. By the time the game comes out, you won't get shot through the wall. They'll fix that. Oh, well, it's just the net code. They're going to fix it in the next patch. 100%, man. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's just the Chinese players. But if you complain about that, you're a racist. And then by now, you're still getting shot through the wall. Like, you're getting shot through the wall. Like, after a year, you're still getting shot through the fucking wall. Not true? Bro, I literally watched Doc play, and he got shot through the wall. It was like 2 weeks ago, man. He was walking up the stairs, and some dude was looking. He was the other way. This dude fires his AK off and pops Doc off in the head. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, how's that supposed to happen? You go behind a wall, and you die. Because the bullets didn't register yet. Like, I mean, that's why people play Fortnite. You think people would play fucking Fortnite if PUBG was good? No. Like, most people, I think, probably like PUBG, or at least like older people, maybe kids, right? we like Fortnite. A lot of older people would probably play PUBG, but they can't because it sucks. So yes, bro, like, I don't have a lot of confidence in games being in pre-alpha and then just assumption that the game will be what you think that it will be, because I had a game that I did that in. I logged 1,000 hours into PUBG. I played PUBG for 1,000 hours. I was actually pretty good. I got like average like 6 to 8 kills a game. I practiced this game all the fucking time. And then the game turned into dog shit. I had to start playing Fortnite again. And I'm like, I don't want to build a house. I don't want to. And I quit. Show 1,000 hours on stream? Let me do it. Let me see if I can open it up. Library. PUBG. 831 hours. Excuse me. 831. Not quite 1,000. 831. What, you guys want me to show it? Okay, fine. Just a second. I'll screenshot and I'll put it into Paint. Why do I have so many Paint things here? Okay, just a second. Let me pull this up. Save changes untitled. I don't need that one. Why am I even doing this? Like, why am I even doing this? Okay, look, I mean, I'm not lying. Just a second. I'll pull up Paint. There, see? 831 hours. Oh, and there's my, that's my library right there. Those are games that we're going to play soon. Fake? Well, Photoshop, but what do you mean no? Okay, dude. Okay, dude. We've had enough of that. All right, 750 hours AFK. Well, there's sometime AFK, but I usually didn't leave that game on because I would end PUBG by Alt F4ing the game, slamming my fucking keyboard, and going to bed. So yeah, Bless Online. I don't know why I never returned that. I got lazy. Hey, at least I didn't spend $150 for the deluxe version of the game. All right, so I feel kind of good. Yeah. So I'll show you some of the games that I do have. Right. 7 Days to Die. That game sucked. I didn't like it. Age of Empires 2 taught me more about history than school did. Age of Empires 3. I haven't played that yet. I bought it for my mom to play actually. Ark. I don't know why I would play Ark when I could just play Atlas. It's the same thing except for it's got a few extra things. Bless Offline. Probably not going to play that one. Counter-Strike. I don't even know why I bought that. I suck at Counter-Strike. I played one game and got killed by a 12-year-old and I wanted to kill myself. I'm just kidding, by the way. Cuphead, we played that one. Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Super Seducer 1 and 2, and Witcher 3. So those are the current games that I have. I need to get a few more. I'm probably actually, you know what, today I should just go buy like maybe a 10, 20 new games, right? So I can be ready for the streams in the future. And I can just have things to switch on to. That's actually a good idea. I'll do that. Yeah, like Doom, like Fury, Getting Over It, like a ton of other games. Fuck yeah. Where's Getting Over It? Yeah, I need to get that one too. That'll be the next one. I'll buy Sea of Thieves, yeah. I want to do Sea of Thieves because Summit got a lot of viewers doing Sea of Thieves, so I want to do it so I can get a lot of viewers too. Yeah, I very, very, like my creative integrity is at an all-time high. And speaking of creative integrity, let's react to the video of a person reacting to me reacting to another video. Let's get back to that.
Now, I'm not going to say that it has the best graphics I've ever seen, and I don't think that's the key allure of this game.
Well, I don't think anybody really thinks it's a key allure of a game, but at the same time, whenever you have graphics that are very, very rudimentary, the expectation that those graphics will evolve into being a functional, playable, fun game that looks good is an assumption. And whenever Pantheon comes out of pre-alpha, and it goes into alpha, and it goes into beta, and if I see improvements that make the game playable and fun and enjoyable, I will play the game. I'm looking for an MMO in the same way this guy probably is too. The truth is, there are so many of us out there, right? This guy probably is the same as me. Neckbeards and waiting. We are all waiting on a game that is worthy enough for us to waste our lives over it. That's what it is. We're all sitting here waiting. Will Pantheon be that game? It doesn't look like it. I could be wrong. It could improve. It could get better. But I'm basing this off of what I've seen.
So I just find it strange that he's going to pounce on graphics before we can even see anything. It's first of all, it's a nighttime clip where you can't even see as well.
No, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is an upcoming indie MMO that aims to take you back to the days of EverQuest 1.
In graphics and also gameplay, apparently.
So it's about, 15 seconds into his criticism, his analysis, and he's already trying to basically say this game looks like something out of 1999. I don't know why.
I mean, it does. Like, what's a game from 1999? Let me think. Diablo, EverQuest. There's got to be another one. RuneScape, Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 1. Let me see if there's any gameplay for this. 1998 graphics. I'm going to turn this off. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, yeah, I guess it's a little bit better than 1998. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I guess we can go all the way up to like 2001, 2002. Yeah, somewhere around there, like 2001, 2002. Not much. But yeah, I mean, obviously the graphics look really rudimentary. I mean, I don't see how that's not really like a debatable point.
He's so defensive and so critical about the game's graphics. Now, most gamers that I know, the graphics are not the most important things when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to assessing a game.
They matter. I mean, they do matter. I mean, it's not like, yeah, I'm not going to not play a game because of its graphics. But they matter. I mean, yeah, they do. I mean, if the game looks really bad and the combat is really like stunted, which it looked like it was stunted, yeah. Like I'll give a point. I'll give a point to him, right? Is it like you look at a game like Ashes of Creation? Whenever I first saw Ashes of Creation, I thought it was the worst thing that I ever seen in my entire life. The most recent iteration of Ashes of Creation makes me want to play it. So yeah, I mean, things can get better. Absolutely. Like I mean, sure. But I'm not going to say that things are going to get better whenever I'm making an assumption off of a game that isn't just made. It was like look at this. Like, what's Pantheon? Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Like, what? This is like, isn't it like a Kickstarter or something? Yeah, I mean, like I developer lead accused. Like, I mean, it's been in. This is a video. This is an article that was in 2014. Like, when is this game gonna come out? That was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm being skeptical about a game that's created by an indie studio that's been in development for at least 4 years. Yeah, I'm critical. Of course.
Just for example, the greatest games I've ever played, if I had to sit here and make my top list, almost none of them had amazing graphics. I mean, I can go right down the list. EverQuest, Diablo 2. I mean, none of those.
So he's right, but he's missing the context in that argument. The context in that argument, or the odds are that whenever he played those games, they did have good graphics for their time. He probably played Diablo 2 in 2003 or something, 2004. Like, for its time, it did have good graphics. Like, one of the best games I ever played was Ocarina of Time. If I go back now and I go play Ocarina of Time, I'm thinking to myself, wow, why is Link a triangle? Why is Navi a triangle? Why is Epona a triangle? Why is Zelda a triangle? You know, everybody's a triangle. And yeah, it's still a great game, but bringing out a game with low graphics is not necessarily a good decision to make. And yeah, I get it, right? It's a first impressions. This is my first impression.
Really had amazing graphics. Other games that people love and play so much, like Minecraft and Dark Souls, those games are not known for their graphics.
I think Minecraft, that's a good argument, yeah. But Dark Souls, and also you can make a Minecraft argument that it's a design, like Minecraft is intentionally pixelated, right? Ocarina of Time was not intentionally triangulated, right? It was not intentionally, there was only 5 polygons in each thing, right? It was a Minecraft is a creative decision, whereas these other games in Pantheon, I think, are a lack of development or an inability to do development, right? Whenever you look at like a game that came out in like the 2000s. Dark Souls, I don't think Dark Souls is ugly. I think there's a lot of good things about Dark Souls. It's not an amazing game. It's not like Witcher 3 or something, but it's a nice looking game. Especially Dark Souls 3, my opinion at least.
The sound effects. Oh god, that noise still makes me want to
Family show.
buzzkill. Anyway, the game is still in pre-alpha. However,
Now, that is one thing that I will say. EverQuest didn't have great 3D modeling, didn't have great 3D...
No.
The models themselves didn't have great animations. It was actually pretty limited in that regard, but it did have a lot of variety. So you had basically 3 different models. You had the large races, the medium-sized races, and the small races. And so, as far as I know, those were the 3 models that you could actually play as. So you had races sized like halflings and gnomes. That was one. You had ogres, trolls, those were your large races, and then you had humans, elves, and all the rest that shared the same 3D model.
Cool.
And so it had a lot of variety, but I wouldn't say they were the most amazing animations. I can agree with that. But they had really nice other things that made up for it, that made the game a lot of fun, and it had a good environment. It felt very authentic. I don't know how to describe that exactly, but when you looked at the world, it felt like a real world. The spell particles were always really cool. So when you saw someone casting a spell, it was actually pretty awesome. It's like, oh, wow, that looked really cool. And the sound effects in this game, I will say, I feel are underappreciated. I think they're some of the best sound effects in a game ever.
However, the devs were nice enough to let me join them on a dungeon run through Black Rose Keep. It was...
Okay.
Well, frankly, it was a lot of fun, even though we died a few times. I'm not going to spend this video talking about all the features of Pantheon, as I haven't gotten to experience them. I'll save that more full-featured video for when I get a more full-featured... Starting off, it's EverQuest 1. Pretty simple, really. If you played EQ1 back in the day...
Yeah, I remember watching this video. I remember this very clearly.
About a billion times better visually. In fact, I dare say Pantheon...
I'd say only about 2 to 3 times better visually, but okay.
Pantheon looks...
So this is his third rib of this game. Every single time it's about the graphics.
really good.
And I don't know.
Well, yeah. Because that's the only thing that we're looking at. Like, we're not looking at any combat or anything. Like, if we get to the combat, I talk about that too, but like, we're just looking at random areas. Of course.
I don't know that I would necessarily agree with the Hive leader's assessment of this game that, hey, it's basically EverQuest 1. Like, yeah, it takes a lot of inspiration from it. I would definitely consider it a spiritual successor. It's a different company, but a lot of the same developers are behind it at the core of the team. Obviously, Brad McQuaid is there, and that's going to be his creative output. It's his baby, if you will. So he was one of the key developers of EverQuest, so naturally it's going to bear a lot of similarity. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Nobody said there was.
Especially that Brad McQuaid.
It doesn't.
Hey, Brad.
Like, it doesn't look good. Like, this doesn't look good. The graphics do not look good. This does not look good. This looks like it came out of 2003.
Oh, I was right. Yeah, there you go.
Like, this is not good.
Okay.
Oblivion has better graphics than this.
It actually
Who
does.
thinks that this is good? Like, I don't understand. How can you possibly think this is good? That's the point. Well,
Casting weak and strong heals, and then some faster casting but less mana efficient weak and strong heals.
Okay, let's get to the combat.
Moments, of which there were a few. I must say,
I simply just don't agree with that. I mean, Oblivion had great graphics for its time, and they were, to be honest, those would even be considered relatively decent by today's standards.
Yeah.
But even so, I would still say Pantheon has better graphics. So again,
Let's see. Let's get a place where we're in a castle. Where is it? There's got to be like a place where you're looking like out in like an area, right? This guy's running so fucking fast, you can already tell. Yeah. You look at that. You look at this. I mean, there's the side-by-side right there. They're basically the same. You could even argue that Oblivion is a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, come on.
This is fourth attack of the graphics. He's just continuing to...
Oblivion is better? Wait, what's the question marks for? I'm confused. Oblivion's better? Well, I mean, like... Oblivion probably has better aesthetics on like a macro level, but obviously Pantheon is going to have better particle effects, right? And that's why I kind of, you know, viewed them as being equal. But yeah, on like larger scale, I would say maybe Oblivion does look better. It's hard to say. Yeah, and the Oblivion faces do suck.
Hammer this one point. He's not really talking about anything else. He's just talking about graphics, 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 graphics. I just think it's bizarre that he keeps hammering the same point over and over.
Throughout the stream, I had a few clutch heals. Yep, I'm pretty proud of myself. Next up was a shielding spell that absorbed some damage. And the next
so these are his spells.
One that increased your armor class, and another that increased both your armor class and your mag. Very much a group-centric game. While I'm told solo play will still be possible, you're going to want to group up with your fellow adventurers for a better experience.
That's a good thing.
With that in mind, each class in the game has their role to play. Our group consisted of 2 warriors, a rogue, an enchanter, a shaman, and myself, the cleric.
Enchanter's probably just a mage.
Acted as main tank and...
Clearly has never played EverQuest. So that is a CC role, a crowd control role. Enchanters can do
I never
some
played
direct
EverQuest.
damage, some dots. They can even summon a really terrible pet. But enchanters have always been a crowd control class. Bards are also a crowd control class in this game. And the same will be true in Pantheon. So I don't think World of Warcraft really even has this. I know back in the day it was not even in Classic. I don't remember it being a big thing to crowd control all kinds of things. We did off tanking. I remember that.
I don't know about that.
That was pretty much your CC, but I don't remember crowd control being a very big thing in World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
I know it was in PvP a little bit. Like you would try to take a guy out of combat by, you know, using sheep or polymorph or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was actually a big part of PvE in EverQuest, but it will be in Pantheon as well.
Off tank, the rogue and enchanter were there for DPS and crowd control. The shaman was for off heals and DPS.
This game looks like if WoW took out every single ability, and the only thing that you could do was auto attack.
You know he's gonna be mad.
So that's a pretty serious criticism right there. And I'll address that. What he's saying is, all I'm seeing are the standard attack 3D animation, right? That's what he's saying.
Pretty much.
I'm not seeing like an uppercut, flaming uppercut, dagger move or anything like that. That's what he's looking for. So he wants flashy looking moves like he's accustomed to seeing in World of Warcraft. He wants the whirlwinds. He wants that sort.
Yeah, I want it whenever I cast an ability. I want it to look fucking awesome. I want it to look fucking badass. Like, whenever I play... Look, I pulled this shit up so many times, dude. Whenever I fucking play... This is what I want to fucking see, okay? I want to see a warrior going crazy. I want to see some crazy-ass, wild motherfucking bullshit spinning around, massive red circles everywhere. People are fucking dying. You're healing up to full health every attack. It looks awesome. Yes, I want this, man. No, I don't want my guy to just be... No, yeah, I want it to look fucking cool. Fuck yes, I do. Am I wrong for wanting cool animations? It's the only thing that I think makes Diablo better than Path of Exile. Path of Exile's the mobility and everything and the casting animations are more stunted than Diablo 3's, in my opinion. I feel like that is the one point of advantage that Diablo 3 has over Path of Exile, right? Now, this is my opinion, okay? But everything else I think Path of Exile beats it on. But still, just that one thing makes me kind of miss Diablo 3. It matters a lot.
Sort of stuff. He's not seeing that. Now, I think that could be a fair criticism. That's not really a big deal. And I don't know what the development team has planned, but I do know that they're not done with the animations in this game. They just hired a guy, Ross Armstrong, and he's supposed to develop the animations further. I know they're going to have race-specific animations, allegedly for every race. I'm not sure if that's true or they're going to break that down by size or something like that.
Yeah,
that's good. I know that the work there is not done. And even if they weren't, it wouldn't ruin my day, because that's not the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me here is this development team is committed to quote-unquote classic MMO game design, which is what really made MMOs great in the first.
Well, I want classic MMO game design. I just don't necessarily want classic MMO gameplay. Like, I don't see why you can't have the same philosophies that made games like EverQuest and World of Warcraft Classic the greatest games of all time, in my opinion, while at the same time not having some more flashy and fun-to-play characters. Like these don't need to be mutually exclusive.
Place. Turning it into a theme park where no one even cares about the end game anymore.
Here we go. Because I'm not happy with the gameplay. That means that I want to turn the game into a theme park where nobody cares about the end game. No, I think both of these things can exist simultaneously. You can have fun gameplay, while at the same time, you have a philosophy that drives players to want to continue playing.
They currently don't in BFA, because Asmongold has said in his own videos that no one even cares about the gameplay in BFA, because if you sit there and you spend a lot of time making a video talking about the strategy of World of Warcraft, no one's even going to care, because no one cares about the end game in World of Warcraft anymore.
That's
very
very
because
true.
They strayed from these values in the first place.
There because I felt like it.
No, the value isn't gameplay. Like, this is the thing. They're two different things. Like, I'm criticizing the implementation of like the game, the way the game functions. I'm not criticizing the philosophy in which the game is designed under. Like, this is the player experience, not necessarily the philosophy and how players interact with the world and the way that it works. They're two separate things.
Damn, healer deeps for the win! I think I hit for like 2. Combat in general felt a bit more strategic than other MMOs I've played lately. The mobs we were fighting were lower level than us, which you can tell by using the consideration.
So that's what he's looking at. He's seeing everyone auto-attacking, quote-unquote. He wants to see some shield slams. He wants to see some kind of like overhand smash move. He wants to see whirlwinds.
Things become considerably
He wants to see
harder.
crazy stuff like that World of Warcraft brought to the... And I think it's a fair criticism. They did have nice animations and did look flashy. I don't know if that necessarily would work for this game. It could, but I don't want to see like crazy superhero type stuff.
Hit the wrong enemy and we could have ended up with the whole room on us. And while a few extra enemies may not seem like a big deal, what with these newfangled MMOs having you kill dozens of enemies at the same time.
One thing I will say was that when World of Warcraft came out, that was actually a big criticism of World of Warcraft, is that the animations look too cartoonish and childish. So really what we're talking about is two very different styles of 3D, the art style itself of the character models.
Okay.
So EverQuest goes for a more realistic art style, whereas World of Warcraft went...
I mean, like, is it really realistic, though? Like...
cartoonish and more over the top. I would also make another comparison to, say, Virtual Fighter. Virtual Fighter went from a more realistic approach, and that was a game that was more popular in Japan, and Tekken was more popular in the United States. And Tekken went for a more flashy, cartoonish, you'd spin kick somebody and like it looked like gunpowder was in his heel, and his face explodes and like there's fireworks that go off when you kick someone in the head. That didn't appeal to me. Like, that's not what makes a game great to me. What makes a game great to me is gameplay depth, a lot of options, interesting choices, ways for a skilled player to show that they're a skilled player. So you're going to see a lot of delineation between the great players and the very average players. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, World of Warcraft, you can see that they've gotten away from that. They've dumbed the game down. They've taken out all of these abilities. The old skill trees are gone, and they've dumbed it down and made it easier. They've given them, I would say, the less talented, less skilled players ways to advance in the ways that the skilled raiders do, right? So they're basically leveling the playing field and turning it into a theme park. So they're saying, hey, if you paid, you're going to get access to all of the goodies in the game because, hey, you bought the game, therefore it's a theme park.
I disagree with that just as much as he does. Obviously, I do. But what I don't necessarily agree with is, like, let me go back and listen to what he's saying.
There's ways to advance.
Oh, about like the character.
In the right?
The way that Blizzard designs the game now, right, is they use procs, and procs are supposed to be the way that bad players catch up with good players. But the problem with procs is that bad players don't know how to use procs, and they don't use them. So it actually increases the gap between bad players and good players. If you go and you do like an LFR, especially in Legion, the gap between the highest end players and the lowest end players is actually bigger now than it ever has been. I don't know actually about right now in BFA, but it was in Legion. It was massive. And Mike Preachwell actually did a video about this, right? The gulf between the high end and the low end players. And Blizzard, to combat this, increased the auto attack damage that players did in order to decrease the gap between high end and low end players. That's how pronounced it was. So yes, this actually is true.
So they're basically leveling the playing field and turning it into a theme park. So they're saying, hey, if you paid, you're going to get access to all of the goodies in the game because, hey, you bought the game, therefore it's a theme park. Therefore, you get goodies just like everyone else gets goodies, right? Because, hey, we all paid for the game, so we get equal access.
I'm going to skip ahead in a minute.
That's fine. If they want to make a game that way, that's fine. But
okay,
that's not the kind of game I'm interested in. And the people that are interested in Pantheon and EverQuest and all those old, there were a lot of old classic MMOs that were designed this way. Final Fantasy XI, Dark Age of Camelot, and Asheron's Call. All of those old school games were designed that way.
In Pantheon, it means death. If you're not careful, wipes will happen often and quickly, as in seconds. 1 second you're fine, and everyone's happy and having a great time, and the next you're dead. And then it's time for the corpse run. Although this was a time-limited stream, so we got to use dev powers and just teleport back.
Cheating, Andy.
Nice.
Very much
that
like
builds character.
Okay, where's the boss?
The corpse run builds character. It's a good thing.
In your skill use and
I agree with that. I used to be able to do the corpse run from Thorium Point to BRD with my eyes closed. Because I basically had to do that because I was talking to my mom, explaining to her why I couldn't come to dinner and why I had to keep doing BRD again. I remember I'd have to come home and make sure that because I just die in there every fucking day. And I have to come home and make sure that I got into a group within an hour of getting home from school so I could finish BRD by the time that I had to go to bed. Yeah, I remember that really clearly.
Consumption. The mini-boss herself was a somewhat difficult fight, with strong AoE spells coming down that made me do a lot of healing. And I also had to spend some time regaining mana during the battle. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Like some other older MMOs, you'll need to sit to regain mana faster. Though if you're in combat, you'll actually stand and pray, allowing you to regain mana, just not as fast as sitting. Anyway, we did manage to down the mini-boss, and that was our goal.
One thing I'll say about this, I've been thinking about this feature quite a lot, because I do think sitting is really not necessary for casters. In fact, in the beginning when EverQuest came out, you actually had to stare at a spell book that blocked your entire screen. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's necessary. In fact, I think what would be fine, I believe Classic WoW did this, where you could just not cast. And if you don't cast, it's considered meditation, or it's considered, hey, I'm not casting now, I'm focusing on
if you don't cast for 5 seconds,
regenerating mana. And maybe moving would slow that down a little bit. So maybe standing still would always be the best way to regenerate mana.
Okay.
You know, it's debatable. It depends on, but of course that would make your casters feel like they have to stand still all the time. And you know, that's not as fun. I'll be honest. I don't think that makes the game better by forcing people to sit still. I think just tell them not to cast, and that should be fine for regenerating health and mana.
Okay.
As long as, I think that'd be fine.
For the stream. I don't believe it had been done before on stream, and I was the first one to
I'm going to skip ahead.
So I don't like it. And it's the same with this. Even though they have a very good idea behind the game, if they can't make that look better than this, nobody's going to want to play it.
That shit used to be loud.
Again, Ross Armstrong and others are working to improve these animations. So he's going to continue to talk about how...
We'll skip to his final thoughts, okay? Let's
someone
go to the last,
somewhere said that these are
last,
combat
5 minutes of the video,
placeholders, which I features that they're...
Okay, let's see what he's got to say. Oh, this is whenever I'm making fun of how much money it costs. Okay, this is good. Yeah, I want to hear his reaction. Because the pledges for Pantheon are really high. Like, if you look at the pledge, right? And you go, I'll show you guys. This is like $1,000 for like a pledge. And this is $10,000. Like, that's a lot of money. And for a game that's been in early access, like pre-alpha for 5 years, I mean, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Didn't PoE have something similar? Yeah, I mean, I think that it did, right? And it's all about, like, like, what's really the word for it? It's about, like, trust and what's, like, really the, like, yeah, they did have it. I think the highest was, like, $1,000 for Path of Exile. I would say the difference, really, I mean, there isn't really much of a difference, but it's not like I was going around and saying PoE is the greatest game ever. It's going to be the best game ever. Like, it was in pre-alpha, right? And I wouldn't expect other people to say that either.
Right here.
Alex Central bought the $1,000 pledge. Look, man, that's not what I would do.
And let's see. So this is pledges, supporter pledges, champion pledges, VIP pledges, full game.
Why is my audio
VIP
so bad?
Forum access. Oh, that's great for the game. We pay money and you just talk about the game. Let's see. Already pledge, upgrade more. Okay, Keeper's Pledge, beta access, stack of
full investment. Basically,
okay.
You are investing in the future of this game by helping to invest and make sure that a publisher isn't going to steer this company's development efforts into a toilet. See, that's what's happened with World of Warcraft, which is now... So Blizzard, basically, no matter what they want to develop, they're going to be under the thumb of Activision, because Activision is the one that is basically driving this game off a cliff with all of their demands for micropayments and all of these ridiculous features that they're putting into WoW, which are dumbing everything down, and it's making the game too accessible, too easy. Everything's true. You know, everything is just dumbed down for players, and they're taking the challenge out of the game. So maybe if they had some kind of system that could help Blizzard not be at the behest of their publisher, maybe World of Warcraft wouldn't be in the state that it's in. So this is a pretty big difference from pay to win, a one-time investment to get access to certain features or early access or, you know, a cloth.
I understand people want to invest in a game, right? There are plenty of games, right? If there was like a Dark Souls MMO that came out, right, and From Software did a Kickstarter, I'd donate money to that for that to happen, because I'd be very hopeful of that game being really good, and I'd want to support something that I believed in. And I understand that, but there also has to be a level of common sense here. I mean, the game's been in development, it looks like, for the better part of a decade. We're still not out of pre-alpha. The game looks very rudimentary. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're not skeptical, you're delusional. Come on.
App or a couple of, there are a couple of in-game items that aren't even that big of a deal. I mean, give me a break.
I hope they just take your money and then it's actually not a pledge to the game. They actually just give you it's like a retainer for a therapy. Yeah, or some sort of like a psychiatrist, retainer for a psychiatrist for the person instead. Anyway, I don't think I really did a good job communicating that joke. Basically, what I was saying is that the people that spend money on the game, the developer should just take that money and pay a psychiatrist, because you'd have to be mentally deficient in order to do it, right? And so I didn't communicate that very well, but that was what I was intending.
You're the one with Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe you need a psychiatrist, Zach.
Yeah, obviously, like, so they are giving out items.
Because I played the game, I played for 10 years. I'm critical of the game. Like, this is my favorite game. This is a criticism I get a lot, and I don't understand why. Yes, I am extremely critical of WoW. 100%. I'm very, very critical of the game. That doesn't mean that I hate the game. It doesn't mean I have Stockholm Syndrome. Yes, I'm not happy with the current state of the game. I've said many times I love WoW. There's a lot of things that I do in WoW, even off stream. I'm playing WoW off stream. Like, I haven't a lot recently because I've been practicing for the Dark Souls thing. But for the most part, I play WoW all the time off stream too. I enjoy the game a lot. That doesn't mean that I can't be critical about it. People think that I'm generating negative feedback or something like this for for some sort of gain. I don't really get anything out of it. If anything, I lose. Because, you know, I'd lose potential opportunities that Blizzard might give me because I constantly complain about their game. There are people that want to live in a fantasy world that's beyond Azeroth, where WoW never has anything bad happen, and they stop watching the stream. Oh, you said something bad about my favorite game. I'm not going to watch anymore. You know, there's plenty of things that are negatives, right? And then also the biggest negative is the fact that I'm probably just yelling into the fucking void, and Blizzard doesn't even care. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not getting anything out of it, really. Fucking fanboys get so upset if I complain about the game, and people are like, oh, why don't you quit the game? It's like, I'm sorry, but there's more than 2 worlds to live in. Like the game and like everything about it, or quit. There's a fucking gray area.
In here, right? In-game item, in-game item, in-game item.
Ages.
Stack of illusion flasks. That's not a big deal.
We don't even know what that is. How are you going to be sarcastic about it being game-breaking or not if you don't know what it is? Yeah, I don't think mounts are game-breaking either, but I think they diminish the integrity of the game. That's not the point that I was trying to make. I didn't say people buy the Tunic of Ages and it makes them the best character in the game. I said it diminishes the integrity of the game. And if a game that's developed is specifically out of making the integrity of the MMO and people are supporting it to create the integrity and promote that so they don't have to do with a publisher and have these other quotas and everything, and then you turn around to do the same thing with the Kickstarter pledges, it's a little bit hypocritical. I mean, give me a fucking break. We want to see a video of this guy reacting to you, reacting to him, reacting to you. We'll give it a week or so, okay? Yeah, this is the gift that keeps on giving.
But it's still in-game item. So even in this
flask
game,
of
you're getting something.
Illusion.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like in an MMO, like, yeah, Flask of Invisibility, it sounds like that's really good. Like, yeah, Flask of Invisibility. Like, think about other things that are invisibility. The One Ring in Lord of the Rings gave you invisibility. Man, that was a really good item, wasn't it? That'd be a legendary. The Cloak of Invisibility in Harry Potter. That was the whole thing about the first fucking movie. That's how he figured out about Voldemort and the guy with the turban on. Yeah, I mean, I'd say invisibility is a big fucking deal. Like, besides being able to, like, you know, I don't know, have some other crazy thing, like, be Superman, yeah, that'd be, like, the one superpower I'd want is invisibility. That'd be fucking awesome.
Flasks, oh no.
I think that's better than, like, having a cash shop, yeah, but there's still things that you get for giving them money, right? Have you seen the prices of ships in Star Citizen? No, I haven't. Not at all.
I have now. Yo, that shit's like $30,000 or something. Like, where's the most expensive? All right, most expensive package. New Star Citizen add-on pack costs over $27,000. So yeah, I mean, yeah. That seems like a lot of money on a game. Who the fuck buys that? Donald Trump.
Alex Central pledged $500. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
That's exactly what I said now. I wouldn't have done that. I wasn't trying to be mean or anything. I wouldn't have done that. That's all.
Yeah, I would not have done that. Yeah, I know Alex is a big supporter of, like, Pantheon.
Okay, here we go. These are his closing thoughts.
Time to jump that sinking ship.
I really don't.
Zach, that ship is sinking fast, buddy.
Competition.
Well, yeah, but like if I want to go on a sinking ship, that's like I'm on a sinking ship, and then you want me to jump over to the Titanic. Wait, like what do you mean? What are you talking about? It's a sinking ship. Yeah, WoW has a lot of problems. It's got less than Pantheon, though. I mean, Like, whenever the game comes out, I'll probably play it if it's good, but I'm not just going to give it a pass. WoW has only problems? No, I mean, I don't know about that.
Time to jump
I'm
ship.
not really expecting Pantheon to be that good.
Okay, here we go.
So there you have it.
Here we go.
It's not too late, Zach. It's time to rethink what you're saying about this game. It's still very early. There's still a lot that needs to be added to the game. They're hiring new people instead of firing people like Blizzard is. They're letting people go. You know, I know they got Classic WoW coming out, but they're already talking about how they're firing people. They're cleaning up. They're leaning out the staff. Well, Visionary Realms, they're looking to hire people, okay? They're adding people. They're adding character animation specialists that have been doing it for 20-plus years. They're hiring. They keep expanding their staff every time they put out a newsletter. And the reason for that is we've been supporting them, the community, the gamer.
We've been supporting him for 5 years. Like, come on.
Okay? Not a big-time, money-hungry publisher. The gamers
It's a $10,000 pledge. I'm not saying they're money hungry, but like they're certainly not saying no. At least at Blizzard, you don't have the option to give them $10,000. Well, actually, I guess you fucking do now. Never mind. Yeah, now you fucking do. Because you can just buy a bunch of WoW tokens.
themselves are publishing this game. Essentially, they're helping to publish it. Now, of course, there's angel investors who just have a lot of money, and they're helping publish this game as well. Probably people that played EverQuest, or people that are who just want to see a great game, and they believe in the developers, and they probably know the history of EverQuest, and they're optimistic, and they probably think, hey, Pantheon's probably the only chance in the MMO genre, because this genre has almost died. Okay,
the MMO genre is going to be dead until somebody creates a good MMO in VR. That's it. Like, unless somebody creates like a completely new amazing MMO, right, like WoW 2, that's going to be the next time that there's ever going to be another big MMO that changes people's lives in the level that WoW does. It'll be in VR. I can basically guarantee that, because the amount of escapism that people have, like, what do people get out of MMOs? They got the escapism, the part of like being part of another world. Okay, like now, because everything's so interconnected, the like, what is it? Like this, the element of like how special that is, right, is diminished because people are interconnected everywhere. I think that the next big MMO is going to happen in VR. I'm not happy about that. I hate VR. I think it's fucking stupid. But I think that's what's going to happen. That's my best bet.
This is the worst I've ever seen this genre. And EverQuest more or less established this genre and made it what it is today.
That's true.
You know, Final Fantasy copied EverQuest. That was a good thing. Copied in a good way. It was inspired.
Yo, he's right. VR sucks dick. Anybody that likes VR is a fucking idiot.
Well, they're fucking weebs, dude. They're weebs that pretend to be lollies in VR. And then you've got the other kids that are 12 years old, as I said before, that are pretending like Do You Know the Way is still a funny fucking meme in 2019.
It's not.
It's disgusting. It's stupid. I don't even get it. Like, yeah, it's absolutely.
Oh, look, Fred's mad, dude. Fred's mad now.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, people are big defenders of VR.
EverQuest, basically, it was a great game. They did a good job on it, and many others followed suit. DAOC made more of a PvP inspired type of MMO. So it's a great genre. It's my favorite genre, and I want to see it make a comeback. And that's why I think you, Zach, you need to get on this train before it's too late for you, boy. I don't want to see you going into therapy because you've been abused by Activision Blizzard for far too long.
I'm pretty close.
Rethink your opinion, and hopefully in the months ahead, we'll see you change your mind on Pantheon. It would be great to see you come into the fold, Zach.
Hey, it would be great to be there, but I've got to have a reason for it first. And what I've seen so far isn't enough. The graphics are rudimentary, the gameplay seems mediocre, the philosophy is to be determined, the production schedule seems lacking at best. This does not seem like a promising aspect. Now, if they turn things around, like as I said before, I watched the Ashes of Creation thing, right? 2018 gameplay. Like, I've watched this. Like, what is the one that I watched? Apocalypse gameplay 1 month ago. I'll turn this off. I just want to show you guys what the gameplay is like. This has improved a substantial amount. Like, this is massively better than it first was whenever I first saw this game. This looks really good. Okay, like, this actually does look pretty good. It doesn't look amazing? No, it doesn't necessarily look amazing, but it looks pretty damn good. Like, let's look at some of the combat here. Where's the combat? I'm assuming it's going to be at the end because he probably dies, right? Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is like some kind of like, they made like a BR for this or something like that. Yeah, see, the combat is kind of interesting. Obviously, it's still a little bit mediocre, but it's better. And whenever I first saw this game, I thought that it was one of the worst things that I had ever seen in my entire life. And it has improved to the point to where I will probably play it whenever it becomes available. Like, my opinion on Pantheon can change, but I'm not going to change my opinion based off of an assumption and a promise. It's been 10 years. Or not, sorry, 10 years. It's been like 5 years they've been trying to make this game. It's still not out of pre-alpha. How long is that going to be? Come on, man. UFMO, yeah. I mean, this, at least this is interesting. I don't know, man. Oh, wrong one.
Classic MM.
Like, let me see what some of these comments say. Pantheon is trying to catch the old school MMORPG feel, though. That's great, right? I'm happy about that. I'd like to play an old school MMORPG, but not every element of old school MMORPGs are things that I like. Like, I'll give you an example. I don't like losing things whenever my character dies. It creates a certain level of, like, let me think of a way to put it. It makes things stressful for me, right? Like, and I don't like being stressed out whenever I'm playing a game. I like to be able to just enjoy myself. What?
That's casual, dude. That's casual.
If it's casual, then it's casual, right? And, like, yeah, obviously, like, by the... by the nature of it being a reduction in some sort of, like, punishment for something that happens, yes, obviously it's inherently casual, but there are some things that are casual that are good, right? Like, I would say, like, in WoW, like, the mount tab was a good idea rather than having to hold every single fucking mount in your bags. Like, I would say that was an improvement. Does it make the game more casual because now you have more room to hold other things? I don't know, in some indirect way, sure. But it doesn't necessarily mean that casual was bad. Casual is not synonymous with bad. Let's look over here. Let's see why... oh, Alex Central. This is why people shouldn't watch and support Asmongold. He's not a real gamer. I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know what to say. I mean, the guy tried to get people to hack Tally's website. He's a clown. You know, I mean, he's a fraud just like everybody else is. He does the same things that everybody else does. He tries to make sure that people think he's the real one. Let me tell you guys something. Anybody who focuses and tries to emphasize how they're a real gamer or a real person and being genuine is usually the person who's the most ungenuine and the fakest out there. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm not a real gamer. I've been playing video games my whole life. But I'm not playing the game that he wants me to play. And I don't want 8 debuff slots in Classic WoW, or I just didn't think it was going to happen. So I'm not a real gamer. Like, is that right? Yeah, I mean, you just did it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, Alex has lost his mind. What is there? Weapon skill hater? Yeah, I thought it was dumb, right? It's just like, if I criticize anything about it, right? Yeah, he's obviously a gatekeeper. Like, he's mad. Here's why he's mad, right? Is because, like, he had a monopoly on the classic WoW, like, content, and then people like Esfond and Stay Safe started coming up and producing content, and people liked them more, and people moved over to watching their content instead. So Alex Central ruined his credibility by trying to damage Stay Safe and paint him to be a racist. And whenever that didn't work, he went into, like, an autistic frenzy and deleted everything that he had, and, like, basically went into, like, you know, hiding on the internet for a while. And then he came back, and he's creating videos again, acting like what he did wasn't disgusting. If you're trying to damage other people's reputations because you're feeling insecure that you're not the only person creating content for a video game that's 15 years old, I don't know what to say. You can add internet? Yeah. complain about graphics when a guy playing WoW. I mean, come on. WoW's graphics are not that bad. Like, come on. Like, I really don't think they're that bad.